Greetings, guys. I wasn't going to do a video tonight. In fact, I was doing something else earlier, and I had this thought that I wanted to share with you immediately and get it uploaded. I was a registered Democrat. I still am currently. And the thought that I had earlier was that if I switch to independent, that means whatever party is going to fight the hardest to win my vote based off of what they do and what they say, I'm going to go that way instead of being tribal. So it made more sense to me. I left the Democratic Party mentally years ago. I think it was 2012. And I'm not saying you should do that either, but if you decide to be independent, that means you're letting go of the tribal draw that keeps you with your team, like Minnesota Vikings and Green Bay Packers, right? It doesn't matter what the teams do wrong. If you're talking about your team, you're going to fight for your team no matter what. We should get away from that. We should let politics fight for us, right? So if we're independent, that means if let's say the whole world switched over, the whole country switched over to independent voters, then it's not about Democrats. It's not about Republicans, right? I mean, that's the two biggest parties. I mean, libertarians got their game too. But that means the politicians have to fight for our votes, right? We're not claiming a party where we're going to fight for the party. The parties are going to fight for us. If we switch that around, we can have a lot of good things happening. But right now we have a lot of things. Republicans have problems. Democrats have problems. I think Democrats rely on having the black vote, no problem, because they claim racism all the time. And Republicans, they get in position, they drag their ass. They don't step up and kick ass, which they should. So if we switch the positions, instead of saying, okay, I'm a registered Democrat, I'm a registered Republican, claim independent. Don't fight for your party. Let your party, or let the parties fight for you. I used to vote Democrat all the time. And with Donald Trump, I don't care if you guys hate me. I voted for Donald Trump because he has balls. Says the wrong things, fuck his tweets. I really don't care, because he changed a lot of good things for the positive. Now in office, we have a weak person. So if both parties understand that they're going to have to fight for our vote, that we're not going to claim parties and be tribal, they're going to have to fight for our votes. Watch what happens. Watch what happens, because they're not going to know from day to day. They're not going to say, well, Florida looks like it's Republican dominant, or Michigan looks like it's Democrat dominant. We don't have to focus on them. No, you got to focus on everybody. And instead of flying around, if we're concerned about being green, instead of flying around, let's do this shit on the internet. We got technology on our side. We don't have to, if you're concerned with the Green New Deal, all the emissions and everything, don't fly around the fucking country. Okay, pardon my language. I've had a few. I was having a night out. Don't do that. Have yourself a website where we can interact with you, right? And just have everybody tune in Wednesday night, 3:00. Every Wednesday night, whatever candidate is going to present their deal and have interaction with the community. And if they fail, they succeed. If they win votes or lose votes, that's on them. They don't have to fly around the country, burn up fossil fuels and all this other jazz, right? If you're concerned with the Green New Deal, cows are going to fart. I'm going to eat cows. I love steaks and burgers. Don't mess with that, right? I love gas-burning cars. Eventually, we'll get away from it. But unless you're looking at India and China too, changing America to make it fail economically is bullshit for this Green New Deal. Come on, guys, get your head together. That's what I'm saying. So don't fight for your party. Let the parties fight for you, right? I mean, that sounds fantastic when you think about it, and that's just a thought I had to share. Guys, just stop laying down. Stop laying down. Wake up, pay attention. Opposing news sources, take in all the information you can. Watch Joe Rogan discuss it for you. That's what I love about Joe. Watch him do it for you. Observe. And you want to have those discussions with your friends, watch a Joe Rogan podcast, sit down with your friends, have a few drinks or don't, or smoke or whatever you want to do, or just relax and have a Pepsi and talk about it after Joe Rogan gets done talking about the current topics. And then you guys can decide for yourself what works best for your life, what you really believe in. But if we're not discussing these things, we're just going to follow the light. We're going to be tribal. We need to stop being tribal. We need to stop being racial. That means you're tribal to your race. I'm the guy that I tell you what, if you're white and you're disrespectful, I don't like you. If you're Mexican disrespectful, I don't like you. If you're black and disrespectful, I don't like you. But tell you what, out of all those three that I just mentioned, there's not too many that are going to pull the race card, maybe 33%. You don't like me because I'm black. That's reality, right? We got to get away from that. If you want equality, we got to stop doing this bullshit. Fuck the race card. Get that out of here. Stop doing that stuff. Let's stop being tribal. Let's respect our race. Let's respect our neighbor's race. Let's respect our communities. Let's respect our Americans, right? Let's start there and not fight for your party. Let the parties fight for you. If we change that whole mindset and just start there, starting in 2024, 2022, let's do it early. Let's just start with it right there. Let the parties fight for you. Don't fight for your party. Watch what happens. Sweet Jesus. That's why I had to share this. I was busy doing some other things, but I wanted to share this with you because the idea popped in my head and I'm like, oh my God, this makes so much sense. Instead of claiming your party and being tribal, float in the middle. Call yourself independent. You don't have to. You do what you want to do. Freedom, right? Do what you want to do. But I think if we float in the middle instead of being tribal and wait for whatever, Democrats used to fit something that was so different than what they fit now. And they went farther left, so they lost a lot of people. So we have people boycotting Joe Rogan that used to stand for something that was positive. That would be freedom of speech. There were Democrats back when Democrats were a little bit different, talking about freedom of speech, and we need to be, individually recognized as people, respected as people. And I think that's what Americans are about now. But it's so divided, So let's stop being divided. Let's all claim independent. Let's start an independent movement. We can all be independent. Instead of fighting for the party, let the parties fight for us. If that makes sense to you, please make a comment. That's why I had to do this now. Otherwise, I got stuff I got to do. I hope you appreciate that. It makes so much sense to me. If you're on board, do what you want to do. If you want to claim your party and stay loyal to your party, that's cool. Give me a comment on that. Tell me why that you don't want to be independent, because the parties have changed so much over the years. If we look at history, what Democrats used to be, what Republicans used to be, they both have a checkered past, right? And they change from season to season based off of what they want to accomplish, right? So let's stay fluid. Let's be fluid, right? And if one party is letting us down as Americans, get rid of them. The other party is letting us down, get rid of them. Whatever we need to do as Americans, let's all join together, be independent, because then they have to convince all of us. Instead of some of us just being tribal and saying, yeah, I'll go with you, whatever you want to say. I've been doing it for years. My grandparents did it. My parents did it. So I'm going to follow you too. Instead of doing that, let's say, prove it to me. Prove it to me. Don't give me that lip service every time election time comes around. And don't say that you're going to take care of the black people only every 4 years. Don't say that you're going to take care of the poor people by spending so much money on them to fix their problems. You know what? Education. There's a problem with the expense of education. I'm getting pissed off, sorry. The expense of education is only because of the government involvement. Guaranteeing loans. Now, let's do the same thing when we talk about healthcare. Same thing. So instead of politicians stepping in and saying, okay, we're going to fix this, we're going to have the government step away from it and let the private businesses fight for your dollars. Let the government get the hell out of there, because everything the government gets into, they screw up. Education and healthcare. If you go to another country, healthcare, cheap. Why? Great healthcare. Insurance over here, they screw you because they're paying for illegal aliens. I don't care if you are mad at me for that. They're paying for illegal aliens. If they're paying for veterans, cool, I'll do that. But they're putting all this money out for people that don't want to get their ass up and work, right? I'm one of them right now. Currently, I'm on Anoka County right now because I've been laid off for a while. So, hey, I know it. But we need to get away from that stuff, right? And just build. A little too last video I said it's a masculine characteristic to control your emotions. Get a little too worked up. Healthcare and education, the failure of that is from the involvement of the government. And we need to get rid of lobbyists too. We need to get rid of these 700 or 2,000 page bills. Keep it short and keep it concise. Because if you're saying, I want to vote to not kill kids, yes, I'm on board with that. But if you're adding $8 trillion to fund oil companies, no, I'm not. So keep it short, keep it concise. We have to refocus this stuff. And I think if we get away from being tribal to our party, Democrat, Republican, Independent, no, I want independent, but if we step away from that and don't fight for your party, let the parties fight for you, I think we'll be in a much better position in 8 years. Not 4 years, not 2 years. It'll probably be 8 years, and it'll be a better situation for our kids. Think about it. If you want to make a comment on this, please drop a comment. If you want to be involved with doing something, I want to do something with this. I want to get the message out because like I said, I was doing something else and I thought about this and I'm like, wait a second, that is a slogan that needs to be heard. Don't fight for your party. Let the parties fight for you. Makes so much sense. Okay, I'm going to try to hit the remote control to cut this video off. I have something to do. Wi-Fi. I'm going to go upstairs now, turn the lights out, and maybe I'll watch this video a little bit later, maybe post it. I appreciate you guys following me, but it does make sense, doesn't it? Don't fight for your party. Let the parties fight for you. Okay, cheers.